Welcome to Discovering Grayslake, a podcast dedicated to the stories and people that make our town truly unique. Join us as we sit down with local business owners, community leaders, and everyday residents to hear their tales of triumph, struggle, and everything in between. From the little-known historical gems to current events shaping our community, we'll cover it, all in an engaging and informative way. I'm your host, David Wool, and together we'll discover the heart and soul of our town, one story at a time. Today's podcast is brought to you by the lovely folks at Keller Williams North Shore West at the Sinkmars Group. Motivated not by numbers, but by helping you feel at home in our community. Jody Sinkmars and her team are committed to serving Grayslake and its neighbors with the utmost care. Call Jody today at 847-767-7358 or visit the Sinkmars Group online at sinkmarsgroup.com to get started on the path for the home you love right now. This podcast is also brought to you by the Cashmore Financial Group. Financial advice for everyday people. Turn your financial stress into financial success. Call us today, 847-231-6150. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Discovering Grayslake. Once again, I'm on Center Street, and I'm at 27 Houses with Michelle Anderson. Michelle, how are you today, honey?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm awesome. It was really fun. I got to tell my daughter that I was coming here to see you, and she freaked out because this is like her favorite place to come.
Oh, I love that so much.
Okay, first of all, why 27 Houses?
Okay, so 27, it's my birthday. It's always been my lucky number. 27 mathematically is a perfect cube, so 3 to the third power, and I think of houses as little cubes you can design within. I did a mixed media art project in high school where I made all these little cubes into a village, and it just has always stuck with me.
Wow.
As like a little thing you can design within, and it has links to creativity and humanitarian work in numerology. And so when I started my business primarily as interior design and home staging, I wanted that number to be part of kind of my story. And also, I didn't want to name a design firm after myself because I feel like most interior designers name it after themselves. But I feel like then you can't kind of create a legacy or branch off of that in terms of your business. You're kind of very limited with what you can do with a name like that.
Absolutely, and if you ever want to sell your business, it's kind of hard to do that too.
Yes.
Yeah, that's why it's so many people that I talk to, and even being in business for myself for long, it's hard to put your name on it.
Absolutely, and it's a great conversation starter. I get that question.
And I really didn't think that that's what you're going to say because, I love numerology.
Yes.
So it's kind of fun that you threw that in.
Absolutely.
I was just in this big thing about numerology and how freaky it actually is and how it really defines who you are.
It lines up so much with so many things. And
so your main thing here, is it decorating houses? Is it staging houses? What would you say?
I would say, so I started my business as interior design and home staging. I have my bachelor's degree in interior design, so that was what I had worked in my early 20s. And then started, kind of went off on my own. So that's really where my heart and my focus is, which is why my store hours are kind of wonky because
Right.
I do see design and staging clients regularly throughout the week. And obviously people's availability varies. So I just kind of have the store open when I'm not with clients. So that's why sometimes we have morning hours, sometimes we have afternoon, sometimes we're not open.
Right.
So that's definitely where my primary focus still remains, because that's what gets me really excited about everything, because it's different every day.
And most people that are creative need things to be different every day.
Yes. Otherwise it gets stagnant and I just can't sit still. And that's also something I love about owning a store. And a lifestyle boutique is I can change it regularly. I can bring things in that get me excited, and no 2 days are the same ever.
Right, and if anybody hasn't been into 27 Houses here, you're in for a special treat. You have so many different things in here. I think there's like a gift shop for everyone.
Yes, that's my goal. I initially started it out just being more like home decor focused, and I carry wallpaper and I have fabric samples and things like that. And I really wanted it to be like a mixture of a design studio and home decor. But as I was open, more and more people in town were asking if I had candles or gifts or cards. And I thought, well, those things get me excited if I can find ones that I love. So why not? So I just kept adding and adding, and now I've added clothing and jewelry, and it's really turned into a true lifestyle boutique. It's things that I use every day, and my rule is I don't order anything that I wouldn't purchase myself and bring home. So I don't buy things because I'm like, ooh, this will sell really well. I have to love it or I'm not bringing it in.
Love it. Yes, and some inappropriate stuff too, which I
Yes.
appreciate.
I do have some snarky and inappropriate things. Some older people will come in and ask, what does this stand for? Or what does this mean? And I just tell them it's not something that they probably want to hear.
Right. If you don't know what it is, there might be a reason.
Yes, exactly. So, it's not everybody's cup of tea, but it's somebody's shot of whiskey, right?
I love that. I love that. And it seems like you have a lot of like the teens and everything that love the stuff in here too.
Absolutely, absolutely. We do kind of appeal to a fun, kind of younger crowd, but a lot of the things, I'm 36, so I feel like age is just a number at that point, and it's more about your personality and how much fun in life you like to have.
Right. I think you attract the fun people.
Yes, I do. The fun people, and I was really surprised being in a small town how many people received my sense of humor as well as they did. It surprises me, some of the people that I've known throughout my childhood coming in here and buying the things they buy. I'm like, oh, okay, all right, I see you.
I know you're a lot better now.
Yeah, and I absolutely love it. I love it so much.
Okay, so people that you know from the town, so tell me, so have you lived in Grayslake your entire life?
Yeah, pretty much. We moved here when I was 5, so I pretty much grew up here, and then I went to college in the city. I took the train every day because I didn't actually want to leave Grayslake.
Wow.
So I went to college there and then came, stayed in the area and didn't want to leave and didn't want to raise my kids anywhere else.
Right, and there's a lot to be said about that, especially because you went through the Grayslake school system then, so you were...
Absolutely, yes.
Right, and you're a Grayslake Central, but at that time it wasn't Central.
No, I was the last graduating class before they split into 2 high schools.
Oh.
So.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's crazy. See, I went to Carmel, and mine was the last grade when the boys and girls were separated.
Okay.
And then the next one, they brought them together.
Okay.
Lucky me. Then they brought them.
Missed that one.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
Okay, so you're basically a lifer. From 5 years old, you're...
Most definitely. I absolutely love this town, and I remember one of my favorite memories was going to all the little shops on Center Street when I was a kid. There was like Cheshire Cat and Cottage House and all of those, and the library was on Center Street when I was a kid. And so the downtown has always just brought me so much joy. So when I came across, a spot for rent, it kind of fell into place, and I was like, this is the time to start my store. And I just kind of rolled it into the mix.
Wow, so a nice big leap of faith.
Absolutely. One of those just like, you know what? I don't believe in failure. There's an ebb and a flow to everything. So once I go into something, it's just, you just go all in and you make it work.
Yes. Okay, so as I researched you and being around, which is always fun to be like,
oh yeah.
Okay. So you have almost 1 million followers on your TikTok channel. Is that correct?
Yes, it is.
How does one do that? So I would definitely, you are an influencer. Yeah,
technically yes. I'm awkward about it. I get really weird about it because it all just kind of happened. I got on TikTok just for fun with some other moms, and we were just kind of goofing around, and then I really kind of leaned on it during the pandemic to help my storefront, because obviously during COVID everything had to be shut down, and during COVID my design business was thriving because all of a sudden people were home and they hated how their house was laid out, or they were stuck inside and all of a sudden were like, oh my God, I hate everything about my house, or they needed a home office designed.
Amen.
So my design business was still thriving, but I had just opened a store a year prior.
Oh, so you opened a year before COVID
I
hit?
I opened in 2019.
Oh, man.
And it was really important to me to still come to work every day and try to stay in a routine as much as possible.
Yes.
So I would come here and the lights were off, the doors were locked, and I would live stream. I would take pictures of product, started selling online to help keep the cash flow coming in.
Right.
And
had to get creative fast, huh?
Get creative fast, and it just became so much fun to interact with people all over the world. And the more I got excited about it, the more the following kind of grew. And then I took my love for fashion and design and all of those things, and sponsors started reaching out and sending things.
That's
and
great.
It's just kind of become a whole separate part of my business.
Nice.
Is social media based.
Wow. So you have to do that. So I'm sure especially with if I hate the word influencer, right?
It's so awkward.
I
It's
know.
just like I get so like,
right. Because so many people, like, you talk to these young people, like, what do you want to do? Like, I want to be an influencer. I want to build my TikTok channel, do whatever. I'm like,
right.
Well, what are you going to do it about? Like, it better be something you're passionate about, or
right.
have some kind of content to it.
Or some sort of focus. And, my channel was really based off of like positivity and just having fun in life and being happy. And the feedback I usually get is, it's just a bright light every day and just happy, fun songs, nothing heavy. I'm not super serious on there. I share so much of my life. I'm very open on there. But a lot of it's just inspiration and positivity is the feedback that I get.
Yeah, and it's nice. And it's nice to everybody that's gone through there. There's so much negativity, and there's so much complaining and politics.
There's always drama and politics and trolls and trash talking and things like that. And I just don't. I've learned to love the block button, the unfriend button.
Yeah.
And I just kind of stopped caring what people think and just do my thing.
And any child that's listening, or any young adult, if you live your life like that, you will succeed.
You feel so much better. Things used to get to me, or when people would criticize, because everyone's going to have their opinion and, talk behind your back or say things, and you just kind of, when you stop caring, it's so freeing, because you're like, that's cool. All right. They're miserable. Like, if they're talking badly, there's something in their life that they're lacking, or they don't have anything interesting to talk about.
Right. And genuinely, a lot of people that are negative hate to see other people succeed because they're not doing it themselves.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I'm like,
hey.
sorry, not sorry kind of a thing. Like, I'm just
right.
over here doing my thing and taking on more projects because they're fun, and I'm setting my kids up financially for their future, so people can trash talk all they want, but...
Right. Hey, I agree 1,000%.
Yeah.
And you love what you do.
I do so
fun.
much.
And if you have almost 1 million people on there, it has a really good feeling to make people smile or be happy. And
It really does. And because it's behind a screen, you don't always know that you're making a difference. But I took my kids on vacation this past weekend, and we were sitting at the little restaurant at the base of Mount Rushmore, and this guy comes up and he goes, "Excuse me, you're on TikTok, right?"
No way.
And I said,
That's
yes.
So cool.
And his whole family was there, and he said, I just want to say, and I was just eating with my kids, and he says, I just want to say that you have been such an inspiration, and our family was going through a really rough time last year, and your positivity just really kept us going. And do you mind if we could take a picture with you? And I almost started crying. Like, I get emotional hearing stuff like that. Is like, I don't realize what a reach I have until like stuff like that. And my kids were so excited to hear that. They're like, you helped somebody who was sad. And
well, what a
like
good
those
role model,
little
right.
moments, like, kind of just, you're like, wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, because I guess it is kind of weird that if you're behind the scenes, you don't know who's seeing everything.
No, you have no idea, because, I mean, it's anybody and everybody. I have clients, design clients that follow me on there, and they see me as a real person. And I think that also helps in my professional life too, is that I am a real person and kind of not just a designer or, a business owner. Like, I'm a person and a mom and someone that deals with stuff just as everybody else does.
Right. So you're a busy woman, and you have two young boys to take care of.
Yes.
And to be a role model too, while you're doing all this stuff.
Yes.
So it has to be a good lesson for them on your entrepreneurship. I can't wait to see what they decide to do.
Oh, absolutely. It's so fun. One wants to be a sports statistician. The other one wants to be like a gamer. And, they always beg to start YouTube channels and things like that. And I say, what does YouTube say? What age does it say? They're like 13. I said, are you 13? They're like, no. They're okay. They're like, but our friends have them. I'm like, but I know, and I think this is the benefit to being a parent who has a social media following, is I know like the dark side of social media and the scary side of social media, because there are really creepy sides to it.
Yes,
and it helps me know how to protect my kids online. So yes, they are on, my Instagram or in, TikToks with me, but I also know ways to protect them on the back end that make a little more sense than some people or parents who don't monitor what their kids do online. So
yes. And that brings up a whole subject for
limiting,
another day.
their whole
like,
freedom
oh my
and
gosh,
stuff. Yeah.
No, but yeah, just the danger of everything from the Snapchats to the things that these
absolutely.
kids
I don't use
communicate
Snapchat.
today.
No.
Yeah, it's a scary world, especially for because I have a 15-year-old daughter.
Yes.
And just everything out there. It's a hard thing to monitor, and to be on top of it as a parent is. And teaching them the right way to do it.
They criticize me, like, but Mom, I'm like, yeah, but I know, I know. And my fiance's on social media too. That's how he, has his career. And so when you have two people that are like, no, we know, so
right.
No, you don't get to do that. There's a reason they put age limits on things.
There is, and it's a scary place. Mm-hmm. And if you use it as the tool as you're supposed to,
right.
Then it can work all kinds of things.
Absolutely.
All right, so you have your design stuff. We have the shop. We have your social media business.
Yes.
What else?
So as of last week, we just opened up 27 Houses Hospitality, which is a brand new Airbnb, and it is right here above my shop.
Awesome.
So there's a 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom apartment just upstairs from the storefront. And I wanted to bring kind of that small town feel to people who aren't from here. It overlooks Center Street, so you can see the parades, you can see the farmers market from the kitchen window. There's all of these opportunities to come stay in kind of like a Hallmark town and experience it, actually being here instead of in a hotel. And, I took the kids up there and we stayed up there one night and we walked over to Emel's to get pizza, and everything here is walkable and cute and quaint, and all our festivals are so fantastic that people from out of town who are kind of seeking that small town feel can come visit and just enjoy it. And we made it fun up there, and being a designer, I was able to design it really cute and add fun furniture and artwork, and we put a Pac-Man machine up there, so kind of making it a little extra fun and something special.
Wow. Okay, yeah. Okay. So that's just another thing.
It's another thing to kind of add into the mix, and everything that's upstairs in the Airbnb is available for sale. So at the end of your stay, you'll get links on where you can either order the furniture, if you liked the bed, where you can order it.
Love it. And
all the little things like the pillows and the soap and all the things are available downstairs in the shop to buy.
Unbelievable. That's great. Okay, so how long ago did you start this?
We posted it last week.
Okay, so
yes, and we already have guests scheduled for next weekend. Yes.
No kidding. How fast is that?
It was literally a few days, and it was so exciting.
Yeah, because I'm imagining like searching Airbnb, going, okay, where am I gonna go? And Grayslake, Illinois.
Yep.
Like, how does that even happen?
And, we're definitely going to be using social media pull to get people here. And there are people from big cities who are seeking that small town feel. And we have a desk up there. And so people who work remotely could just kind of have this as a nice little quaint getaway. And because of all our festivals, there's definitely a draw, come for the craft beer festival or something like that. And since we're right in the downtown, you don't have to drink and drive. You can just kind of stumble your way upstairs and be good to go.
That is an awesome idea.
So
I'll be very interested to see how that goes for you, because I'm sure it's going to be
yes, we're
awesome.
so excited.
You might even have some local people just
Absolutely.
renting it just to be downtown here.
I've had people from high school say, oh my gosh, I would much rather stay there than stay at my parents' when we come into town.
See?
And that's fantastic. I know my sister shared it on her Grayslake High School class reunion page for when people come in for homecoming. So
wow, that's changed. So is this going to be your last Airbnb, or are you going to do more?
Oh no, we definitely want to branch out and do more. So this is our first little stepping stone trial one. Started with a little 1 bedroom, 1 bath, and
it's kind of close here.
And it is just a little bit, just a little. So then we'll just get to expand outward and eventually get into more cities and things like that as we travel. So
wow, that's really cool. And it sounds like you, from the way that you've set your businesses up, that you have some freedom to do the things, to travel, to give your kids other experiences, and to do stuff that you want to.
Yes, absolutely. That's one nice thing about owning your own business, is you can make your own hours and your own schedule. And I travel for social media quite often. We do a lot of charity events. So that opens up a lot of opportunity.
Tell me some charity things that you work with.
So the big one is Spread the Cheer USA. And they do a few events throughout the year. And they're kind of like an all-encompassing, you send an application, families can send in applications depending on their need. They do a lot around the holiday time, giving Christmas to families who may not have Christmas otherwise, right. Food around Thanksgiving. I've done the Toys for Tots toy drive here before, and social media has helped that tremendously. We got boxes from the Boy Scouts 2 Christmases ago, and I made an Amazon wish list with toys from all ages and all price brackets, and posted it on my social media, and that list sold out almost every single day, and I had to keep adding more, and I think we filled 3 or 4 boxes for Toys for Tots that Christmas, just with, I kind of felt bad for the UPS driver and the Amazon people because I had everything delivered here to the store, and it just went right into the boxes, and people from all over the country were shipping things here just off of the Amazon list. So
that's awesome. So you just have a link in your social media, they go with an Amazon wish list, and they can just click and help out with it.
And I would talk about it each day, and do thank yous if someone included a note in their Amazon shipment and thanked everybody who was sending things. And the more you can help and leverage the social media reach to do some good is important. So.
And you're doing it locally too.
Yes, and that's what I love, is I can do local things, and then also with Spread the Cheer USA, one of their big events every year is the Cheer Choice Awards. So they hold that in Las Vegas, and they honor positivity on social media.
Wow.
And so getting to go to those awards and have people that we've learned to know and love from our social media events and things like that win awards for the good that they're doing.
We need more of that.
Is incredible. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those must be really cool to go
Oh my gosh, I think I cried through half of the awards just because you see the effect that people have on the world just by staying positive on social media, and the people you get to meet from every walk of life. And some of these people have millions of followers, and because the internet is such a large place, I've never heard of some of these people, and then you get to meet them because they're maybe in a different side of social media than you are. Maybe they do cosplay, or maybe they're more cooking and home type based, and they have awards for all of those different categories and things like that. And so you really get to meet so many incredible people that do good locally and nationally.
How do you get invited to that?
So tickets are available to the public. So
Okay.
you can definitely just find it and
Right.
and get tickets.
Were you invited to it?
So we get invited just because we know a lot of the people. My fiance and I know a lot of the people that run it, and because we've gone to so many of their events and participated in so many of their events, we kind of have the connections to know
Right.
all the things. But and then people can open nominate you. So I was nominated in the fashion category.
Nice.
I didn't make it to the very top, but it's really cool just to be nominated in that kind of a thing.
Are you kidding me yet?
And my fiance was nominated in comedy and positivity. So
Wow. Okay, so I have to ask then,
Yes.
how did you meet your fiance?
I met him on TikTok.
Did you really?
Yes.
Did you follow him or did he follow you?
He followed me for a lot longer than I knew. And then I had followed him back. And then when you mutually follow, then you can direct message somebody. And he ended up asking me, he said, hey, you're going to be at that charity event in Nashville, as am I. And I know you love donuts. Would you like to go on a donut date when we're down in Nashville? So
How do you say no to that?
Exactly. So it was at one of the charity events that we actually got to kind of meet. And he's from West Virginia, and now he's here.
Wow, so he lives here now.
He does, yes.
Wow, and you didn't go to West Virginia. You stayed in your hometown.
I'm established here, obviously, and with my businesses here and things like that. So he does a lot of social media work, and so he has that flexibility to travel and work from anywhere.
That's
so he was
awesome.
able to come here.
How does he like Grayslake?
He is loving it. He's from a small town in West Virginia, and so it's obviously a different scenery.
Right?
Not as rural. You can't do as many things here as you can out in the country.
Right.
But he's loving the accessibility to things and the proximity to the city, getting to do kind of acting jobs and things like that are easier to get when you're close to a big city. And
For sure.
And he's helping, we're doing the Airbnb together, so he's going to run the day-to-day operations of the Airbnb. So
That's great.
that we because I used a lot of his knowledge of staying in Airbnbs to kind of set up our structure for it, because he primarily hosts for musicians and comedians, and he's like the hype man on stage.
Oh,
and so
fun.
he gets to travel and do that, but when he's on tour, they're in Airbnbs all the time.
Right.
So he's kind of, I picked his brain for what they look for, what you look for in Airbnbs, and what are things that are memorable in Airbnbs or little things like that.
I love that you can buy the stuff.
Yeah.
I think that's really cool.
Well, and
Your two businesses go together.
So I found a lot of the companies and things like that have sponsored me, or if we can offer discount codes to anybody for anything that's up there, and just so that it's kind of an all-encompassing type of a thing.
Wow. It's so refreshing to see people that grow up here, stay here, get their business here, put your roots here, and then even when you meet your man from West Virginia, that you can have him adapt to the lifestyle of being in Grayslake.
Yes.
What are some of your favorite things about being in Grayslake? Do you have any organizations or anything that you belong to here that ring true to you?
So just honestly, the business community in general and the Chamber of Commerce. Our Chamber of Commerce has really done a 180 in recent years. And the events have really kind of stepped up, and seeing a lot of younger people in business and younger people on the chamber have really kind of elevated it to really make the town that hallmark kind of a feel.
Yes.
So I do get excited when business owners support other business owners, and seeing that it's not a competition, it's a community. And I think that's
Absolutely.
so important.
It is. And since we started, because I've obviously lived here my entire life, but even after starting to do the podcast to talk to other people, even while Center Street has, I always say, 16 hairdressers, 14 bars, and 14 realtors,
Yes.
all in the same place, it seems like everybody, for the most part, plays really nice, and they come together to support all of these events and everything we have in charities to help people out.
Most definitely. And there's always going to be the few that don't play nicely in the sandbox, but most of us do, and get along and support one another and hype each other up and ask questions and really learn, if this isn't working, then what do you do to help, and things like
Right.
that. So
Awesome. All right, we're going to take a little break here for a thing that we call the Grayslake Hot Seat, if you're okay with that.
Yep.
And the Grayslake Hot Seat is actually brought to us by our friends at Barbecue Productions, who I was just on the phone with Chris last night. Do you like Barbecue Productions?
I love Barbecue Productions.
We were talking a little off air about that, and you had a story for me about one of the first things that maybe Chris did for a large crowd, I think you said.
Yes, absolutely. So, when I was, probably in my early 20s, I went to a wedding, and it was right on Lake Michigan, and Chris was there, and he, his friend had asked, hey, can you cook for our wedding? You're so good at doing this, and the food is so good. And so they told us, they're like, this is his first time really cooking for a large crowd all at once, was this wedding. And it was so hot, and it was so hot. He was in a tent with the grill, and just the food was so incredible.
I could see the sweat pouring off him right now, by the way.
Everyone there was like, you need to start a restaurant. This food is so good, and everything's delicious. And so then getting to see him like start a restaurant was amazing. The food is so good. It's so good. We order it. If we don't go there, we definitely order it on DoorDash regularly. And I've made videos about it on TikTok.
Oh, you have?
And they followed me on there, and they comment on it. And
oh, my God. I bet he loved that.
Listen, the food is so good.
Seriously.
I mean, I've never had anything I didn't like from Barbecue Productions.
There you go. And apparently I don't need to pump you up, Chris, at all. There's your testimonial. But no, it's kind of cool because the story that you just told me, I have talked to him about because we're good friends. And actually, I'm going to have him on the show hopefully next week.
Oh, awesome.
But he's so busy with the fair right now.
Oh, my gosh, yes.
I can't believe those guys that do the Lake County Fair stuff. But anyway. Okay, so I'm going to rattle off 10 or 15 questions. Just answer as fast as you can.
Okay.
And we'll see where we land.
Okay.
All right. Hey, bartender, can I have a...
Tequila.
Oh. Favorite movie?
Pollock.
Biggest pet peeve?
People who talk behind your back.
Ooh. Favorite sports team?
The Bears.
Favorite ice cream?
Oh gosh. Cookie dough.
Favorite donut? See.
Oh no. There's too many to name. I love donuts.
Highest score in bowling?
Probably like an 85.
Go. Do you use bumpers? That should be the. That's a good way to raise your score.
Anyway. I might get like a 90 with bumpers, to be honest.
What is your go-to karaoke song?
I've only karaoke'd twice, and it has been "Baby Got Back."
That's mine.
At the Fog Cutter.
Nice.
That was the only time I've ever karaoke.
That's the best song to karaoke,
yep.
By the way. Have you ever won an award?
Yes. I can't even remember what it was for. I've had a couple awards.
Must have been very important to you.
Right? It's been a while.
Okay, that's good. Sunrise or sunset?
Sunset.
What are you most afraid of?
Snakes, probably.
Okay. Tell me about the second time you got arrested.
I've never been arrested.
Okay, you're not supposed to answer that one. But that's the best answer I've had so far.
I'm like, I've never been arrested. Do you know something I don't
I just
know?
assume that you've been arrested at least once.
No, I've only had 2 speeding tickets ever.
Really?
Mhm.
Wow. Good job at not getting caught.
Oh,
that's tough.
I'm usually a really good driver.
The things, how many times should you have been arrested? That may be a better question for people.
Honestly, I was always like the goody 2-shoes, so.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm proud of you. I'm very proud of you. What is your guilty pleasure?
Probably social media. But we turned that into a job, so that can't count, right?
No, I mean, I think it's awesome. Well, it's good that it's your
guilty
pleasure.
Turn all the things you love into a job.
Amen. That's what we've been trying to do our whole lives.
Mm-hmm.
Name the most recent celebrity you met.
Oh, goodness. I don't know.
Or just a celebrity you've met.
A celebrity. I don't, do sports players
Yeah,
count?
sure.
I got to design a room for Kirk Heinrich when he played for the Bulls.
Very nice.
That was cool.
I bet
That was a
really
long
cool.
time ago, but
That's good.
I met Paula Abdul at one of the charity events last year.
Really? Did you have a dance off with her?
No, but my fiance got to have dinner next to her.
Awesome.
And she got his number and everything.
Stop.
Isn't that crazy?
That's awesome.
Yeah, she was so nice.
That is fantastic. Now that's a cool story.
Yeah.
I like that. What's the last thing you purchased on Amazon?
Oh gosh, 3 boxes showed up as I was leaving today.
Oh yeah, you're a bad person to ask that because you probably order stuff all the time.
I'm part of their Amazon influencer program, so I'm constantly ordering things. I got a really fun skirt. It's like tulle, and I don't know, it's really cute.
Your favorite band?
Ooh. Oh. I like so many different bands. I'm more into country music now than like a band. I love Kelsey Ballerini right now.
Okay. You kind of switch around.
Yeah, but then I have like my go-to is like Good Charlotte from high school. Like you want like that good feel-good music. So.
Amen. Amen. And how many times do you exercise per week?
Right now like once. I should do more. I used to do a lot more.
Are you a cat or dog person?
Dog.
I know the answer to this one, but I have to ask it every single time just because I think I irritate people with this. How many days can you wear the same pair of jeans without washing them?
Probably like 3 or 4.
That's good. See, I think people should feel more comfortable now because I thought you were going to say, because you're the fashion girl, I thought you were going to say 1.
Well, denim you're supposed to not wash, and you're supposed to put it in the freezer to actually kill any bacteria because denim stretches and changes as you wash it. So you're supposed to actually freeze it.
And that tip, folks, is free. So I'm going to go home and put my jeans in the freezer tonight.
Yeah, and then it keeps the life of it longer, too, because you're not constantly, like, stretching the fibers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that why when you wear a pair of jeans more than, like, by my third time I have to wear a belt because it stretches?
Yep.
Yep. But then right when they come out of the dryer, then everything fits perfectly.
Yep, they shrink back, but you don't want it to keep expanding and contracting too much.
I'm going to post a picture of me with my jeans in the freezer.
Absolutely.
Okay, I think that, and I'll say it's endorsed by you because you said it's okay. So thank you. I know that there's a little bit ridiculous. There's some ones that are really bad in there, but I'm being nice to you too. The last podcast we had, she says, "I'm not going to do that."
Oh.
Yeah. So then I wanted to make things like, "What are the name of your children?" Ask a really simple one.
Like just really simple ones.
Just as simple as what street do you live on?
Right.
Just to make it so it's
My
like
kids,
that.
Fun fact though, they're named after country music singers.
Stop
They're Blake and Brantley, for Blake Shelton and Brantley Gilbert.
So you are definitely a country music fan, to say the least.
Absolutely.
That's awesome. What cool names too.
Thanks.
You're setting them up to be a superstar of some sort.
Absolutely.
I'm telling you. Okay, so I love talking to people with such an entrepreneurial spirit because the things you do now, tell me about a plan that you have or a dream that you have that you want to move your businesses forward.
Yes.
What would you like to do? What is your dream job that you would like to do?
Oh gosh. Is it weird to say like I'm kind of living the dream already?
That's awesome that you're doing that.
I'd say probably just expand the Airbnb and eventually open more boutiques in different cities. I'm kind of weird about like being a business owner, like a little bit of a control freak in wanting to always be the one to run my business, which is why I don't have people working for me, and having the store open. But I'd love to find trustworthy people in different cities and open multiple boutiques and have Airbnbs in all of those places, so it gives me an extra reason to travel.
I think that's an awesome idea. Then you can write it off too.
Yep,
absolutely.
That's
a nice way to do it. It's a nice way to do things.
It keeps my bookkeeper and my accountant really happy.
That's right. And I do like the theory of when you have control over everything, because as running a business for a long time, the more employees you get, I always think that the more people expand, sometimes they think they make more money, but they end up losing money because they lose control or...
Right. And I think when you're in a creative field, it's your creative brain, it's your vision, and having anyone else is going to dilute that vision and that creativity. And a lifestyle boutique, because I've curated it the way I have, no one else is going to know the story behind each thing. Or when I go to buying shows and I get to talk to the owners of the companies that I'm buying from,
right,
and really have that backstory with it, or know why these crystals are good for that, or this, or why the essential oils are what they are. And so it's a lot of the knowledge behind it and the passion behind it that you can't teach. So.
Right. And it must be there must be some satisfaction to watch people walk in and just go from room to room and look and be like, oh my God, look at this. Oh, wait,
so
honey,
fun.
come over here.
My favorite thing is when people just pick something up and they start laughing. Right. And I hear them chuckle, and I'm like, they get it. And that's my favorite thing.
And then I want to touch on one negative thing that the first time I came in to see you, because I saw the sign on your thing, and I want to tell parents to start slapping your kids around a little bit.
Yep.
So there is an issue with young people coming in and theft in here.
Absolutely. So I did end up putting a sign on the door that you have to be 18 or accompanied by an adult to come in. And it's not why most people think it's because of the curse words or the snarky things that we have, and it's not. It's because we have had theft issues.
When you told me that, it blew me away.
Yeah, in their pockets, their backpacks. I caught a girl on camera, and I move the cameras around a lot so that people don't always know where they are. But I caught a girl putting something in her Stanley water bottle, unscrewing the top and dropping stuff in. So
unbelievable.
There are things like that just like irk me, and it sucks to be in a small town and know that, I mean, all the business owners here are from here. Our kids go to school here, and it's just really disrespectful. Right. And so, yes.
Especially with your whole vibe of putting out positivity, I'm sure probably putting that sign on your door is probably a very hard thing to do.
It really is, especially because I do have a lot of, teenagers who follow me on social media and things like that, and it hurts to have to turn them away, but there's not really a great way to approach teenagers that you think are stealing or to not be accusatory. So unfortunately it's just kind of a blanket thing right now until, and that's not to say any people over 18 don't steal. We've had people switch tags on things and steal as well, but it just tends to be the younger demographic right now.
Wow. All right, parents, it's time to start talking to your kids about this.
Yes, please.
Because I know that must be a hard thing. and I hate to bring any kind of negativity into anything, but it is a true problem. It's the world that we live in.
It's just such a bummer. Because you want it to be good and inclusive and fun, and there's always going to be the people who ruin it.
Right. All right. What does Grayslake need to know about Michelle Anderson that I have not asked you?
Oh, gosh.
This is your opportunity.
Okay. I don't know what people should know that they don't necessarily already know, because I don't know. I just really have a passion for this town and want to see as many people succeed here as can. I want to see our business community grow, and I'm just excited to be here, and I'm friendly. Some people think because of social media that I'm kind of either standoffish or not the nice. I'm I'm a
that's
nice
interesting.
Person, I swear.
Maybe you're intimidating. Maybe that's what it is.
I'm really not. I'm just a dork, but it's fine. But no, and I'm doing my best. That's one thing I want people to know is I'm doing my best, because I do get complaints sometimes if the store's not open. People are like, well, you're not open, and
right.
I'm juggling a whole heck of a lot, and also, trying to be there for my kids as much as I can, and that's my priority is, being there for them, and so I'm doing my best to run all the things that I'm running and do all the things. So that's all I can say is I'm doing my best, so please don't criticize me when I'm not open or not available for something, but I try. But it made a big difference on vacation. My oldest son, he tried to count how many jobs that I have, and he kind of he was trying to list them all, and he goes, but do you know what, Mom? He goes, no matter how many jobs you have and all the things you do, you always make time for us. And I was just driving along on this road trip, and I was wiping it. I was like, oh my gosh, my heart. And that's what I want them to see, is that hard work really does pay off, and it gives you that flexibility in the long run to be there for your family. It's hard, but it's worth it.
It's completely.
Yes.
And you say some fun things, because when I meet people in a crowd, most people identify as, when they say, oh, I'm an accountant or I'm a whatever, they meet me and they're like, Dave, so what do you do for a living? And I look at them dead in the eye and I go, I do my best every day. I do my best. And it's fun to see people's reactions to that, because really, when being a single father, having how many jobs, because you and I both say,
Right.
What do you tell people that you do?
You have to wear a lot of hats, and I just go wherever my passion is. And like I said, I ebb and I flow, and sometimes my focus is more on design, sometimes it's more on the store. It depends on the time of the year. It depends on what my family has going on, and I just roll with it.
Amen. And that's the way to do it. And it's a good way to teach your kids too.
Yes.
Okay, so I want you to do me a favor. So next time that we have a Grayslake-based charity or something that you're trying to do to help people out, let me know, and let's gather together. And I always tell people too, let's do something so awesome that people say, what in the hell are they doing? And find a way to give back to our community from, maybe
100%.
especially kids that need more.
Absolutely.
Because not everybody is fortunate as you and I, or our children for that matter.
Correct.
So thank you so much for spending time with me today. Grayslake, come visit 27 Houses. And if you need your house redecorated, obviously, give Michelle a call. I'm sure she'd be really happy to see it. And if you're looking for an Airbnb or have friends coming into town, the best way to find that is to go to your socials, or is it on your website?
So our 27 Houses Hospitality is Instagram.
Awesome.
So we have 27 Houses on Instagram, but we also have 27 Houses Hospitality, where you'll get more info.
All right. So go follow it now. So thank you very much. I want to remind everybody that's listening, no matter what platform you're listening to this podcast on, whether you're on Apple or you're on Spotify or on YouTube, wherever at, make sure to subscribe so that each week when we put out a new episode that you'll get an alert. And really, the reason that we did this podcast is to get to know our Grayslake business owners, and we want to shop local. We want to support them. So bring that positivity. Tell your kids to stop effing stealing, and we'll all get along just fine. So thank you, Michelle.
Thank
you. Discovering Grayslake podcast. Thanks. Make sure to follow Michelle on every social channel that she has. And we'll see you all very soon. Thank you again.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.